And welcome back. Today we are flying out the Meteor Mark III at 7.3. And this thing, it might be a slight bit overtiered. It's a little bit slow. It does rip at like 840, which isn't exactly quick. But on minimum fuel, you can dogfight virtually everything. And yes, that does include a lot of the props, as well as things like the Horton 229. But more of that a little bit later on. Firstly, thank you to all the patrons and everyone looking to buy anything from the Convergence store right now. Discount link in the description, 3% off, no decal yet, but really it is almost finished at this point. Final stage is just having some polishing things, and then I'll just have to upload it to Gaijin. So I'm expecting it, maybe a week. Not entirely sure, it will depend on the person that's drawing it, because I am not making it myself. But stay tuned, it is really almost there. So, this plane. I think the most important part about the Meteor is going to be target prioritization, especially early game. Because if you keep F-84Gs alive, F-84Bs, and just the planes that are extremely quick and don't really have to worry about your turn rate, you are gonna have a lot of trouble in the late game. Sure, one-on-one you can deal with most guys, but if you have someone in an F-84G, he will shoot at you, he will run away, and by the time, even though you have a very quick turn rate, by the time you get your guns on him, he's already going to be like 700 to 800 meters away. He will be outrunning you so hard that within a few more seconds he will be over a kilometer. And there's very little chance you are going to be hitting those shots. So you want to get those out of the match when they're not really paying attention to you yet. How do you do that? Well, it's a bit of third partying, a bit of clever positioning on the map. Because if people are aware of you and they know you turn well, I mean you're a Meteor, so they will know you turn well. But the second they see that you are one of those instant turn planes, they will go very passive, especially in the late game. And when you have to 1v1 someone, like this F2H, perfect example. If you have to 1v1 an F2H like this, and there's also another guy around that will easily outrun you, you are gonna have a massive problem. The F2H here is playing it somewhat correct. He's using his energy, he's not sticking to fight, and he's just going vertical. He's baiting me into a shot here. Very slim chance I will be hitting this. He's much quicker, so I'm just gonna be spraying because I don't want to stall myself out. I'm already doing that, but I don't want to stall myself out with him having too much energy. Luckily the F2H doesn't turn very well, and by the time he gets his nose on target, I've already been diving for a little bit. But he already ate the Big Mac, so he has a lot of calories right now. But I don't want to be too slow. I'm gonna be going underneath him if he takes the shot, and he shouldn't. Then I will be baiting him into my trap. So he's coming in here, and I'm gonna turn in front of him. I'm not turning fully. Right there I am. I get out of the shot, and I'm turning very slowly, very gently. And I'm just waiting for him to do something. And the second he moves, I'm gonna pitch my nose on him, because this thing just turns around its own axle. And just like that, Jesus gets put on the cross. Well, yes, the F2H is an extremely sad plane. It's kind of an L-mobile, but he should have used his speed a little bit more, and the fact that he holds energy better. And the fact that he just has better acceleration. And in terms of energy, I can't really hold with him. But this thing just turns around so quickly that you have to play it very, very cautiously. I can't really fault him. Because even though you have the energy and the speed, you don't have that much energy and speed to really get out of this thing's gun. So if I set up properly and you take the bait, it is basically over from the second you take the shot. Or at least you try to go for it. So here's another game. And here the target prioritization really shines through. It's a small map. They have air spawn planes and they are already intercepting our flight path. I see this F-84 going vertical. I kind of need to take this because I don't want him to wreak more havoc. I don't. I need him gone now. I'm diving a little bit to look around. There's no one really close to us, at least no one that can catch us in time. So I'm going to pitch back into this guy, shoot his tail off. And then I notice a second F-84 that's right in front of us. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be a little bit aggressive here. I'm going to go for the head-on. But he's so busy dodging all the people that I'm able to just pitch in and crit him real quick. And I don't want this guy to run away, regain his energy. I don't know how badly damaged he really is. Keep looking behind. He's not going for us. Shoot this guy down. And that's two F-84s gone. One F-84 rips as well. He rams the other guy in the head-on. And now, the really fast planes are out of the match. We don't have to worry about people coming in with 950 kilometers an hour. We do have a Seahawk and some C2Bs, as well as a C1A, I believe. But I don't really know what they are right now. I just know that that guy on the top there, I can't really read his name. Don't look away now, man. It's like I know I'm just bullying myself at this point. Hunter KZ there. He's definitely in a C2 or a C1. He has too much altitude. Or he was side climbing in an A1U1. but I don't think he would have been that high. But I can't really tell how fast he's going right now. So I'm just being very conservative. I'm going a little bit to the side. And I'm just trying to be as vigilant as possible. And there's another one right above us. Do we know who that is? Not really. But I noticed this MiG-9 here. And he is dogfighting at 262. And if I let this guy 1v1 him, what is going to end up happening is this guy behind me, or the other guy on my right maybe, is going to break off and he's going to very easily kill him. So I'm going to come in and shoot at him. I'm bringing the 262 over. I'm going to pitch up and over. I'm just going to dodge his shots and then I'm going to transition into shooting down the 262 that is right below me. Why? To free up the MiG-9. I want him to regain his energy so that he can actually start doing something. 262 almost gets a shot. I'm not sure who is winning this, but I'm going to be finishing this 262 up so that my teammate can actually regain its energy and not get third-partied by the rest of the team. So he's now free to regain some energy, some position, and set up for the next guy that might come in very soon here. However, that's not how he sees it. I interrupted his 1v1 in Araby. If you want a duel, I recommend you to go into a custom battle. So for now, I'm just going to be splitting up with him, because I have a feeling he's not particularly happy, and I want the C2B to pick a target. The C2B has a long fight here. He can't just one-turn you, it's a little bit of a boat. So if I let him pick a target, send it for that fight, he becomes very vulnerable to the guy who he isn't going for. So I notice he's coming for me. He leaves the MiG-9 alone. Right call, because I'm much faster. And he probably still has fuel left at this point. We go head on, we dodge it, and I'm just going to turn in front of him. Because I want him to go for us. I'm turning in front of him again, and then the second he pulls in, I'm going to be dodging his shots. I just roll around his guns. And now it doesn't really matter. Like, sure, you can engage your boosters now, and you're going a little bit quicker. But you're way too close. You're not fast enough. And you're very predictable. So down he goes. I'm still very worried about this MiG-9. I have a feeling he wants to team kill me. Because it's the way he's chasing me, even though the guy's dead. Stuff like that. So for now, I'm just going to be flying away. Then he notices the guy behind us. It's a Hunter KZ guy from earlier in the match. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to let Hunter pick a target. Because truly nothing is worse for a C2B than having everyone kind of split up. Kind of spaced out. Not so far spaced out that he can kill one guy and regain all its energy. But if you split up and he needs to take one target, the other guy will always come in and third party you. It's very easy to kill the C2B that way. If you're not just outright faster than it. The real way to fight it, just drain it of fuel. The second those rockets run out, it is gonna be doing absolutely nothing. The flight performance without rocket fuel is worse than the 262A1. Keep that in mind. So if you are flying something like a Sabre, an F-84, basically anything that's faster or just as fast, because it can go 10, 50-ish kilometers an hour on the deck with the rocket fuel, but it takes so much fuel that he can't really sustain it. So if you stay about 850, 900 kilometers an hour, he's going to be burning all his fuel and he can't really do much. Right now he's stalling out right in front of us, or right above us actually. And I can go head on with him, but why would I? It's 3v1 and this guy needs to kill people. And if he can't kill anyone, eventually we are going to get shots on him. So he pulls right in front of us and he instantly goes down. Now I'm looking at his MiG-9 and the MiG-9, I think he thinks that's me. Because that's another Meteor, and he was so mad. And he's trying to team kill him. So, I think my hunch was right. I'm not sure if he's doing it because it's the end of the match. Considering the way he was talking, and the way he was in chat, and the way he chased me around. I think he was trying to team kill me. But you know, funny nonetheless. F3D dives on us. And some guys in the F3D video that I made said, well, this thing can dogfight Meteors. Let me tell you something. It won't. It really won't. Now, this guy didn't fly it optimally, to say the least anyway, but I hope you can still see that difference in turn rate here. I just pull in like it's nothing, and that's the Meteor Mark III. You are basically a prop with the speed of a jet. It's a bit like the Yak 15P or the Yak 15, but you are at 7.3, so you don't face that many props, and this thing is absolutely criminal when it comes to facing props. It's not even funny. Well, it is when you're flying it, but it's absolutely criminal when you fight props in this thing, because you outturn most of them, you outrun all of them. Now sure, some props have a slightly higher rip speed than you, and they climb a bit better, but that's it. You even keep your energy better in the turn, so it's very nasty, and here it is, the Horton 229. And the Horton 229 can dogfight most enemies at this BR. This thing is not one of them. This Horton is going much quicker than us in the merge. He does rip his flaps, but it shouldn't matter that much, because you don't want to use your flaps too much in the Horton anyway. And I'm just turning inside of this guy. Now, I don't get a shot here. He's going a little bit too quick still. He still has a little bit too much energy, and I'm using my flaps here. And I'm going vertical against the Horton that entered with more speed in an equal setting, so like in a head-on merge. And even though I'm using my flaps here, I'm using them a little bit too much, but I'm just trying to stay as slow as possible. So he has the most difficulty pulling into the shot. Now he goes up, he's starting to go vertical. And I notice that he's going slow. I pull my flaps in for a little bit, but he's out of energy. And that's the beauty of this thing. It holds energy so damn well, while also having pretty decent acceleration. So in a fight like that, even though the Horton entered with more energy, I just got myself slow enough that he couldn't get the shot on us, and eventually he will stall himself out. Now sure, he didn't play it perfectly, he made a mistake here and there. But I press you to find a Horton pilot that can out-dogfight a well-flown Meteor Mark III. It is not happening. We tested it against someone that played way too many games in the Horton, and he got absolutely rinsed. But here we are, more target prioritization, who to go for first. The boat slow, the boat easy shot, so Toos a little bit closer, so I can shoot at him and then switch over to the SK60. All the way around wouldn't have worked. And notice, and if you didn't see it, feel free to rewind it, I pulled off the 262 before I actually killed him. He was already crit, he was hanging in the air very slowly, I could very easily loop around, but I was more worried about killing the SK60 as well. So I'm not really there to get both kills very quickly. I'm trying to get 2 cripples in, just get them out of the fight, and I can clean them up afterwards. Now sure, both of them extremely slow, hanging from the air, probably not really a threat. So does it matter in the long run? No, but it's simply an example, and I see this all too often where people go for the wrong guy, especially in a 2v1 or something, and it will just get them killed. And it's unfortunate, because it would have been a salvageable situation. And right here, this is a situation that's not exactly salvageable. It's an SU-11 and an SU-9 that is right above us. And the only other fighter in my team, Guerrilla Welfare over there, is gonna be taking the heat first. So he's going for the SU-9, which is perfectly understandable, but I have a feeling he doesn't see the SU-11 coming in. So I'm waiting for the Meteor. I think he's going for the SU-11 at this point, and then I see him turn, and I'm instantly going to ping the SU-11 on his 6. Tell him there's a guy on his 6. But I think he's not really looking at the chat, he's looking at his reticle, and he gets taken down. And now I'm left to 1v2 these guys, and an SU-11 especially is not really my cup of tea. And I could go for the SU-11 right there. You are correct, but the SU-9 here is 100% dead. Whereas if I go for the SU-11, he might actually start diving away from me. I might actually not kill him. And then I'm still in a 2v1. By killing this guy, I'm doing 2 things. I'm getting one guy out of the match, as well as the SU-11. He was positioned in front of me in that fight. So it took him quite a while to get back on my 6. And because of that, I can now 1v1 the SU-11. He then goes to team kill his dead friend and turns right in front of us. Not exactly sure what his battle plan was, but he's gonna get sent right back to the hangar. And now there's a MiG-9 right below us. Just keep looking around. Doesn't seem like there is anyone here. So I'm just gonna clean up the last guy on the deck over here. What can he do? He can run away. The MiG-9 can very easily leave this thing in the dust, but the second he starts maneuvering, the second he starts turning at all, he is done for. However, I'm gonna catch this guy, because he doesn't have the energy right now to actually get away from us. So he's gonna start turning, and I'm not gonna turn downwards, I'm going up a little bit, see where he is going, and the second he makes up his mind, I will do the same thing. We hammer the elevator, and we pitch right into him. At this point he is too slow, and I mean, sure, he's just going for AI, he can't really do anything else. He tried to get something out of the match, but he was dead to rights the second he turned underneath us. And here we are, 5 kills, 3 bombers left, and they're all TU4s. Not exactly an enjoyable experience in this thing, so I'm gonna spray at him from range, pull off, we crit him, we pull off again, and he goes and land. Then we dive in, TU4 again, and we are gonna do the same thing. This time we're coming in from another angle, I shoot, all those tracers miss us, and I get my wing shot off in a single shot. Notice the F7F behind us? Yeah. He decided to keep going for the dead TU4 and got himself killed in the process. Luckily, the A2D in our team is going to stay alive, and we are almost out of battle time. so we end up winning on tickets. A little bit unlucky for them, but I'm not entirely sure what the plan of that F7F was. The TU4 isn't a jet, so you probably aren't going to eat it for breakfast, and he's already dead, so why would you commit to it? Probably trying to get the assist, but it's definitely not worth it when your only fighter teammate just died. We only had an A2D left, and we very easily could have lost that game. Luckily we didn't, and now we are gonna deal with an F89B, something that's not exactly fun, but the LA-15 is going for him. The F89 is playing this almost perfectly. He has a very easy time dealing with us as well, but we just need to make sure that we don't die to the F84. And I'm doing the same thing here with the F2H. This is the same game, by the way, and I'm trying to pitch in front of him. And you can tell I'm not really trying to hammer the elevator key. I'm just trying to get him to turn for us. F89 going for the LA-15. F89 coming back for us. And I'm gonna stay low, because if he dies on us, he might rip his wings off, and that means that he has to air brake. That means he's going to lose a lot of speed. So I pitch up, I notice the F84. We are gonna go up for a little bit longer to make myself a very interesting target. And we are gonna shoot in the head-on. I have almost all my ammo still. We crit him. And then we pull in front of him again. Why? Because I want this guy to full send. I don't want him to run away from me. And now he is crit. He might actually think, oh, I'm on a 6. I'm going to full send. Maybe I'll get a kill out of it. Yeah, not gonna happen. We are in the sizzle here, but I turned so much better. It's actually comical. Nice effects, guys. And that's really a AAA title right there. And just like that, instantly reversed. But those guns do absolutely nothing. And I think I also shot some textures off the ground. F89 then gets chased by the LA-15 and eventually gets shot down. Horton coming into the Mers. I think to myself, oh, I'm going to get another Horton dogfight. Couldn't be further from the truth, because this guy is actually going to extend away, which is the right thing to do. I was a little bit disappointed, because most Horton pilots really like dogfighting you. In this case, not so much. Could go for the Key 84, but I'm going to go for the 262 in the back, because one, it's a jet. It's going to be harder for me to catch, and he's in the back, so I can go for him without the F84 or the Key 84 being able to pitch into us. Keep looking around. Horton right behind us. He is smoking a little bit, however. But I'm not really worried. All I have to do is stay on his wing axis and just pull out of the way. And now the 262 is crit. The Horton is not really chasing us, but he also is. He finally pulls in. He was delaying his turn a little bit, but he also is getting shot at by someone else. So I am just going to ignore him for now, because I feel like he won't really be a threat. At least not a real one. Unlike the One Piece. Here comes the Key 84. We shoot at him in the head-on, but I want to break off before he gets his nose on. We do exactly that. Another crit in. And now the 262 and the Key 84 are crit. And the Horton is damaged a little bit as well. Not sure how badly. I'm not sure if he's even crit at all. And the second I notice him pull off, I'm just going to send it. And I could have tried to reverse the Horton right there. Sure. But I'm going a little bit slow, and I don't really want to risk staying inside of those guns. Not entirely sure what he's trying to do there at the end. He's just kind of flying straight. Probably didn't see me because I came from the side. But now it's just a matter of cleaning up those two guys that are already crit. And my plane is just superior than them to begin with. But if they are damaged as well, they're not going to have a good time. So I do the same thing. Shoot at the Key 84. But this time I'm going to send it for him. And he's already crit. And I'm not really worried about dogfighting this guy, even if he wasn't. Because this thing just turns so disgustingly well. And I had much more entry speed. So we shoot down the Key 84. And then we switch on over to the 262 that's also crit. And we take him down just afterwards. And that's the main bulk of this video. The Meteor Mark III at 7.3. It's definitely, it can be very frustrating. But if you get the right matches and you don't get up-tiered a lot, which I luckily didn't, this thing can be pretty fun. It's mostly just ooga booga gameplay, but in the background you have to be pretty strategic with it. It's a brain dead plane in the way of how you fly it. However, you do need to position yourself well, and otherwise you are just going to be flying around doing absolutely dick all the entire match for most of your matches, because you aren't fast enough. You don't really have game presence, but the second you get thrown into a fight that's already going on, or your enemy turns it into a dogfight, you just simply win. Key 84 pulls in front of us, we shoot his tail off, we hit him some more. And then the last three enemies, well, two crash on landing and the other one lands and leaves. Thank you all for watching, see you all in the next one.